Hey everyone, this story begins way back in the year 1066. Harold II had just become King of England in January, but he didn't get to enjoy the crown for long. Two powerful leaders thought they had a better claim to the throne. First was William, the Duke of Normandy in France. He believed the previous king, Edward the Confessor, had promised him the throne. William even said that Harold had visited Normandy earlier and made a promise to support him as the next king. When Harold took the crown for himself, William felt cheated and began getting an army ready to take England by force. At the same time, another man named Harald Hardrada, the King of Norway, also said he should be King of England. He based his claim on old ties between Denmark, Norway, and England. In September, Hardrada and his army landed near York in northern England and won a battle against a small English force. But King Harold quickly rushed north with his army and beat Hardrada at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. Hardrada and Harold's own brother, who had joined the Norwegians, were both killed. Just as Harold thought things were finally calm, bad news came. William had landed his army in the south of England at a place called Pevensey. Harold had no choice but to march his tired army all the way back down to face a second fight. On October 14th, the two sides met at the Battle of Hastings. Harold's soldiers stood on a hill, using a strong wall of shields to defend themselves. William's army had archers and horsemen, which gave them an advantage. At one point, the English soldiers broke their formation to chase what they thought was a retreating enemy. That mistake opened up holes in their defenses, and William's forces rushed in. Harold was killed in the battle. Many say he was shot in the eye with an arrow. Without their king, the English troops couldn't hold on, and William won. He took a break to let his army rest, then began moving to take over the rest of southern England and head for London. This victory would change the future of England forever. After winning the famous Battle of Hastings in 1066, William the Conqueror wasn't ready to relax. He still had to take control of the whole country, especially London, which was the heart of England's power. But taking London wasn't going to be easy. The city was well protected by the River Thames, and the only way across was a strong guarded bridge. Instead of rushing into a direct fight, William used a smarter plan. He led his army on a long, wide march around the southeast part of England. Along the way, his troops captured several important towns like Dover, Winchester, and Canterbury. These victories helped him get closer to London without fighting head-on. By November 1066, William's army had surrounded the city from the north. After seeing what had happened at Hastings and realizing they didn't have enough soldiers to defend the city, the remaining English leaders, including young Edgar Atheling, decided to surrender. They gave up control of London. On Christmas Day, William was crowned King of England in a grand ceremony at Westminster Abbey, officially ending the time of Anglo-Saxon rule. But even though he was king, William still had a lot of problems to handle. In 1067, Eustace of Boulogne, one of William's former friends, turned against him and tried to attack Dover with a small fleet. The attack failed, but it was a sign that not everyone supported William's rule. Then a bigger problem popped up in the city of Exeter. The people there were angry about the heavy new taxes that William had introduced. They started a rebellion. William took this threat seriously. He marched to Exeter with his army, surrounded the city, and laid siege to it for 18 long days. In the end, the people of Exeter gave up, and William took control. He made sure they couldn't rebel again by building a strong castle there. Feeling more confident, he invited his wife Matilda to come over from Normandy. She arrived in England, and in May 1068, she was crowned queen in Westminster Abbey. But the trouble didn't stop. That same summer, another serious threat appeared. Harold II's son, Godwin, had been hiding out in Ireland. He gathered a group of rebels and pirates and set sail for England. Their goal was to attack the city of Bristol. But the people of Bristol were ready. They fought back hard and formed a local army. Godwin's plan failed, and he had to escape back to Ireland. At the same time, more rebellions were stirring up in the north, especially in York. The rebels there were getting help from the King of Scotland, Malcolm III. William acted fast. He marched his army north, burning rebel villages and building castles to keep control. The people of York realized they couldn't win and surrendered before William even arrived. He placed his soldiers in the city and built a strong castle to keep it under control. Still, peace didn't last. In early 1069, angry rebels attacked both Durham and York. William marched north again and defeated them. But later that year, King Svein of Denmark sent a huge Viking fleet, about 300 ships, to raid the northeast coast of England. These Vikings teamed up with English rebels and launched another attack on York. By the time William got there, the rebels had run away and the Vikings had left. To keep them from coming back, William paid them off and spent Christmas of 1069 in York to show everyone he was still in charge. That winter, William made a harsh decision. He ordered a campaign called the Harrying of the North. His soldiers destroyed everything: farms, animals, tools, even entire villages. The goal was to make sure no one in the north could support another rebellion. Sadly, many innocent people were hurt. Thousands died from hunger and cold. But the plan worked. There were no more major uprisings in the north. In 1070, another challenge came. King Svein of Denmark returned with more troops and joined forces with a rebel leader named Hereward the Wake. Hereward had lost his lands after the conquest and wanted revenge. The rebels attacked Peterborough Abbey and stole its treasure. But then the Danes left with the loot, leaving Hereward to fight alone. William wasn't about to ignore this. He led his army into the marshy lands of East Anglia where Hereward was hiding. It was hard to reach him, so William ordered his soldiers to build a road through the swamp. Once they got close, they surrounded Ely Abbey, which the rebels were using as a base. After some fighting, the rebels gave up or ran away. This was the last big rebellion from the Anglo-Saxons. Even after all that, William didn't stop. In 1072, he marched into Scotland to stop King Malcolm III from supporting English rebels. Malcolm agreed to make peace, and Edgar Atheling, who had once been named king, was forced to leave England and go live in Flanders. By this time, the Normans had taken control of almost everything. Castles were built all over the country, and powerful Norman lords ruled the land. William had become the true King of England. The old Anglo-Saxon world was gone, and a new chapter in English history had begun.